I wanted to have a Star Wars Episode 1 discussion. I've always been a big fan of the Star Wars prequels. The Phantom Menace, it was called. I was always a big fan of the Star Wars prequels. Um, the I didn't like the originals as much as I liked the sequels because I liked the special effects were better in the prequels, in my opinion, and this plot was better. Um, but anyways, I especially want to come back to this topic because the there was a trade war in the Star Wars prequels, and it seems especially relevant now because there's a trade war in the real world as well. That the United States is engaging in trading war with basically all the countries around the world that were tariffs have heavy tariffs on them, and which might not seem like a bad idea, but that's how like World War II got started. It was we were heavily tariffing Germany, and like everyone was heavily tariffing Germany, and their economy turned to like rubble or whatever. Their inflation was super high. It's basically bad for everyone around the world when there's heavy tariffs, especially our country, the United States. It's bad for us too. Might be making money off it, but that's a short term boost. But it's not a it's everything we buy is getting more expensive, and we're getting less money for our value. Like the value size things are getting a little smaller, and they're getting double in price. And this can't really continue forever. I mean, if the tariffs keep getting worse and worse and worse, it will only get worse, and we'll turn into a third world country where we can't afford anything. So that's one of my problems with the Trump presidency is the tariffs. He seems like a dictator or something with that stuff. But I don't understand how we can do that without the vote of Congress. Congress is supposed to decide if what the trade um, position is for in regards to each country. We have the Congress is supposed to decide that whether we have free trade or whether we have tariffs. Where Congress is supposed to decide that, not the president. Excuse me. The so yes, so Star Wars Episode 1 was really good. I like Darth Maul. I related to it a lot when it came out because I was about Anakin's age, about 10 years old when when it came out in theaters, or 9 years old when it came out in theaters. Um, I was about Anakin's age when it came out in theaters. Um, the, uh, the and I related to a lot of what it would feel like to become a Jedi or whatever when you're that young, and what it feels like what it would feel like to be the chosen one when you're so small or whatever. I related to that a lot. The uh, and like he was a slave at first. He was a slave through most of the movie, and then he was brought to freedom by the Jedi. They couldn't free his mom, of course, and that will come back to bite him in episode 2 when he tries to save his mom, but it's too late. Um, and I'll get really angry about that, how he couldn't save his mom from slavery. I think about that sometimes, how like I can't save my mom from I couldn't save my mom from working really long hours at her job, and I couldn't be able to support her in a way that I would like to be able to. But that's not my fault. I have other problems or whatever. No, it's actually not my fault because I do have a lot of problems that are out of my control that stop me from stop me from finding work. But anyways, but the lightsaber battles are really good with um, with the red guy. I forgot his name. I just forgot his name. But then they also had Mace Windu. They had Yoda. They had all these cool characters on the Jedi Council, and you see a lot more of the Jedi Council in the future movies. Um, but this episode is I kind of think it's the most innocent of the three prequels because like Anakin's not outright doing bad, you know. He's not really doing anything bad because he's so young, he's so small. but like in the two prequels, he is doing like bad stuff. Um, and and in the second two prequels, he is doing bad stuff. So like, I like how innocent he is in the first movie. Just shows like you don't start off getting that way. You become that through like bad things happening to you or whatever, making wrong decisions and you know you're not born evil. You're born good, and then people turn evil as they get older. But I think the movie's really cool how there's pod racing in the movies. There's a big battle at the end of the movie with like them trying to get the general on the other side of the capital in Naboo, and they're fighting big battlefields, huge scale combat on Naboo, and they're also doing space combat. Like Anakin did space combat, and he blew up uh, the spaceship that was controlling the spaceship that was controlling the the uh, the droid army. So the whole droid army just shut down because the spaceship couldn't control it anymore because the spaceship got destroyed. That was really cool to see Anakin really participate in the battle, and he really helped them, and he really had really good space combat skills, and he had to take it out of uh, auto flight mode and put it into manual mode to get to use his abilities to the best of his abilities. Um, I think that I think that it's a really cool movie in general. The special effects are amazing. I like the space battle was really cool. I like the um, I like the ground battles were really cool. I like how Naboo there's different races and races of people and on and Tatooine there was like the huts and there was the guys shooting the pod racers and um and um and there was like all the different characters on Tatooine that you saw later in the Star Wars sequels, in the original Star Wars movies. It's just so cool. You see more of them in this episode 2 and 3 of different people on Tatooine that you know you want to know more about. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what did you think of the Star Wars Episode 1. Did you like that movie or did you not like that movie? A lot of people complained about the movie because they thought the kid was whiny. I don't think he was whiny. I mean, I related to the kid because I was his age when I saw it. So like I don't think the kid was whiny. Um, you know, you shouldn't be afraid to put kids in movies, in action movies or serious movies or adult movies or whatever, because kids can always bring positive feelings to movies. Um, you know, a sense of innocence or whatever. It's part of what made this movie great was that there was a kid in it, and so it wasn't whiny, it wasn't stupid or whatever. A lot of people thought it was stupid or whatever. I don't think it was stupid. So let me know in the comments below. What did you think of Star Wars Episode 1? I'm really glad I watched it. I give the movie 2 thumbs up. Um, Thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a great day. Please subscribe. Bye.